The town of Willowcreek was a place shrouded in shadows, its secrets whispered behind closed doors. Journalist Adam Sterling had always been drawn to such mysteries, and the tale of a missing child, Emily, who vanished without a trace over a decade ago, was one that haunted the locals. It was said that on certain nights her ghostly wails could be heard echoing through the woods, followed by the menacing bark of wild dogs. Adam, with his inquisitive nature, couldn't resist delving into this dark legend. He arrived in Willowcreek on a chilly evening, the sun already setting behind the ancient trees that surrounded the town. As he stepped out of his car, a sense of unease settled upon him, as if the very air carried whispers of old traumas. In the dimly lit coffee shop, where the aroma of roasted beans fought against the damp chill outside, Adam met an elderly gentleman named Henry. "You've come about Emily, haven't you?" Henry asked, his eyes glistening with unshed tears. "They say she still wanders the woods, a lost soul searching for justice." Over steaming cups of tea, Henry shared fragments of the story. Emily, a lively 5-year-old, had wandered off one evening, drawn perhaps by the moon's glow through the trees. "We searched for days," Henry recalled, his voice barely above a whisper. "But it was as if she'd been swallowed by the earth." Adam's curiosity intensified. He learned that the woods beyond Willowcreek were vast and untamed, a place locals avoided after dark. It was said that wild dogs roamed there, their howls sending shivers down the spines of those who heard them. But it was the whispered tales of Emily's ghostly appearances that truly captured Adam's imagination. "They say if you hear her cry," Henry continued, leaning closer, "and then the dogs start to bark, you're in for a world of trouble." Adam felt a chill run down his spine. He knew that legends often held grains of truth, and he was determined to uncover what had really happened to Emily. Little did he know, his quest would lead him into a web of lies and a darkness that still lingered in the shadows of Willowcreek. The following morning, Adam ventured into the very heart of the legend. The woods beyond Willowcreek were a labyrinth of twisting paths and dense foliage, where sunlight struggled to penetrate. He carried with him a sense of determination, but also a growing unease. As he trekked through the underbrush, Adam noticed strange markings, tiny footprints in the mud almost too small to be human, and torn fragments of what appeared to be a child's clothing caught on thorny branches. His heart quickened at these discoveries, each one a chilling confirmation that Emily's story was more than just a tale. The further he ventured, the denser the forest became. The trees, ancient and gnarled, seemed to watch him with silent judgment. Occasional shafts of sunlight filtered through, casting eerie patterns on the forest floor. Adam couldn't shake the feeling that he was being observed, not just by the woodland creatures, but by something more sinister. Then, as the day began to fade, the atmosphere shifted. The sounds of the forest changed, becoming more ominous. The distant howls of dogs echoed through the trees, sending shivers down Adam's spine. He froze, his senses heightened, listening intently. Was it just his imagination, or was the barking closer now? He quickened his pace, eager to find a way out of the woods before nightfall. But as he turned a bend, he stumbled upon a sight that made his blood run cold. An old, abandoned cabin, its windows broken and boarded up, stood before him like a rotten tooth in the forest's landscape. Adam approached with caution, his mind racing. Could this be the place where Emily had vanished? He circled the cabin, his eyes scanning every detail. That's when he noticed something peculiar. Fresh scuff marks on the muddy ground, leading towards the cabin's back entrance. Someone, or something, had been here recently. With a deep breath, Adam pushed open the creaking door and stepped inside. The cabin was filled with an oppressive silence, broken only by the rustling of his own footsteps. Cobwebs clung to every corner and the air was thick with dust and decay. He moved from room to room, his heart pounding in his chest. In the far corner of the cabin, he found a small locked cupboard. His hands trembled as he tried the handle. It was unlocked. Inside, he discovered a collection of old photographs and toys, a faded teddy bear, a rusted tin of crayons, and a stack of photos depicting a happy, smiling Emily. But what caught Adam's breath were the other items in the cupboard. Tattered leashes, dog collars, and a worn notebook filled with detailed notes and sketches of various dog breeds. As he flipped through the pages, his eyes widened in horror. Some of the sketches depicted creatures that were no longer dogs, but something else entirely, something terrifying. Just then, a chilling sound stopped him in his tracks. A whimper, barely audible, followed by a silence so profound it seemed to scream. Adam's heart pounded as he realized that whatever was out there, it was close. He quickly pocketed some of the items and rushed back outside, slamming the door shut behind him. As he emerged from the cabin, the forest seemed to come alive around him. The howls of dogs surrounded him now, their barks growing louder, more aggressive. Adam didn't wait to find out what they wanted. He sprinted through the woods, his mind racing with questions and fears. Back in town, Adam sought answers from the locals. His research led him to a disturbing revelation. Some of the town's residents had witnessed strange activities in the woods over the years, but they had been too scared to speak up. Rumors circulated about a local scientist conducting secret experiments, using the forest as his personal laboratory. With newfound determination, Adam delved deeper into this lead, uncovering a dark trail that promised to expose the truth behind Emily's disappearance and the haunting legends of Willowcreek. But little did he know, the worst was yet to come. Adam's investigation led him to the outskirts of town, where a large, isolated mansion stood, shrouded by tall oak trees. The place exuded an air of decayed grandeur, its once proud architecture now marred by neglect. This, he learned, was the residence of Dr. Victor Blackwood, the scientist rumored to be behind the disturbing experiments in the woods. With a sense of trepidation, Adam approached the mansion's heavy front door and knocked. After a moment, it creaked open, revealing a tall, gaunt man with piercing eyes. "Yes?" Dr. Blackwood inquired, his voice cold and curt. Adam introduced himself and presented his journalist credentials, explaining his interest in Emily's case. To his surprise, Dr. Blackwood invited him inside, though the welcome was far from warm. The mansion's interior was as chilling as its exterior, with dimly lit corridors and rooms filled with peculiar scientific equipment. "I've heard the rumors," Adam said, his voice echoing in the cavernous entry hall, "about your experiments in the woods." Dr. Blackwood's expression remained stoic. "Rumors are often exaggerated, Mr. Sterling, but I suppose you wouldn't be here if there weren't some truth to them." He led Adam into a study filled with books and papers, where they sat facing each other across a massive oak desk. "I can assure you," the doctor continued, "my work is entirely ethical and above board. I study canine behavior and genetics, nothing more." Adam produced the items he had found in the cabin. The toys, photos, and most damningly, the notebook with its disturbing sketches. Dr. Blackwood's eyes widened as he recognized his own handwriting. "Where did you find this?" he asked, his voice laced with a mix of anger and fear. "In an abandoned cabin in the woods," Adam replied. "It seems your experiments weren't as secret as you thought." Dr. Blackwood sighed, running a hand through his graying hair. "Very well, Mr. Sterling. I'll make this simple. Yes, I conducted experiments involving canine genetics. It was my goal to create a new breed of dog, one with enhanced intelligence and loyalty, but I assure you no children were harmed in the process." Adam leaned forward, his eyes locked on the scientist's face. "Then where is Emily, and why do the locals speak of a child's ghost in the woods?" A flicker of unease crossed Dr. Blackwood's features. "I can't account for local legends, Mr. Sterling, but I can tell you this. My experiments were ultimately a failure. The creatures I created, they were not what I'd hoped for. They became aggressive, uncontrollable. I had to put them down." "And Emily?" Adam pressed. Dr. Blackwood hesitated, his gaze averting. "I'm afraid I can't help you there. I never laid eyes on the child, but if she went missing around the time of my experiments, it's possible she may have encountered one of my subjects." Adam felt a chill run down his spine. He knew he was close to uncovering the terrible truth. "Where are these creatures now?" he asked, his voice steady despite his mounting horror. Dr. Blackwood rose from his chair, his expression darkening. "They're gone, Mr. Sterling. All of them. But I suppose the legends will persist, won't they? People love their monsters." As Adam left the mansion, a sense of urgency filled him. He knew he had to find answers, not only for the sake of Emily's memory, but also for the safety of Willowcreek's residents. The doctor's confession, though disturbing, was far from satisfying. There were still pieces missing from the puzzle. That night, as the moon rose over the town, Adam found himself back in the woods. He carried a flashlight and a sense of purpose, determined to search for any clues that might lead him to Emily's fate. As he ventured deeper, he couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched. Then from the darkness came the sound, A faint, haunting wail like a child's cry carried on the wind. Adam froze, his heart pounding. He strained his ears, listening intently. The cry was followed by a silence so thick it seemed to vibrate, and then the barks, close now, menacing. With a surge of adrenaline, Adam sprinted in the direction of the sounds. He didn't know what he would find, but he had to try. As he ran, his mind raced with possibilities, none of them good. The woods seemed to close in around him, the shadows growing longer, more menacing. What he discovered next would change everything. Adam's dash through the woods led him to a hidden clearing, where a sight awaited that would haunt his dreams for years to come. In the center of the clearing stood an old oak tree, its massive trunk twisted and gnarled, and at its base a small grave marked by a simple wooden cross. As Adam approached, his heart pounding in his chest, he noticed fresh dirt around the grave. He knelt down, running his hands over the soft earth, feeling a wave of emotion wash over him. This was Emily's final resting place, a secret kept for years by those who knew the truth. But something else caught his eye, a small metal collar lying half buried in the dirt near the grave. He picked it up, turning it over in his hands. It bore a name: Emily. His stomach churned as he realized what this meant. The collar had been placed there as a cruel mockery, a reminder of the scientist's failed experiment. In that moment, Adam knew he had to expose the truth. He carefully dug up the grave, his hands shaking with a mix of reverence and anger. Inside, he found what remained of Emily: a few fragments of clothing, a small toy, and a skull, tiny and fragile. It was a chilling confirmation of her tragic fate. With the evidence in hand, Adam returned to town, his mind racing with the implications. He confronted Dr. Blackwood once again, this time armed with the truth. The scientist's demeanor had changed. He was now a broken man, haunted by his actions. "I never meant for it to end like this," Dr. Blackwood confessed. "My experiments, they got out of control. I tried to contain them, but some of the creatures escaped. They were drawn to Emily, perhaps sensing her fear. It was a horrible accident." Adam pressed him for more details, and the doctor revealed the extent of his cruel work. How he had trained the hybrid dogs to respond to specific stimuli, including the sound of a child's cry. The creatures had been conditioned to hunt, and Emily had become their prey. The local authorities were notified, and an investigation ensued. Dr. Blackwood was arrested, and the town of Willowcreek finally began to heal from its dark secret. Adam's exposé brought closure to Emily's family and exposed the horrors that had taken place in their midst. In the aftermath, the woods beyond Willowcreek were declared off limits, a solemn reminder of the tragedy that had unfolded there. The legend of Emily's ghost lived on, not as a warning, but as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Her story served as a cautionary tale, reminding residents and visitors alike of the importance of facing the shadows, no matter how dark they may seem. And Adam Sterling, the journalist who had sought the truth, became a local hero. His determination and courage brought justice to Emily and exposed the evil that lurked in the hearts of some. From then on, whenever the wind whispered through the trees or the moon cast long shadows, the people of Willowcreek knew that they were not alone. They remembered Emily, and they found solace in the knowledge that her story would forever haunt the pages of their history.